Alright guys, so in today's video, I'm going to teach you a method in which you can have somebody just cut to a card like this, look at it, and then shuffle these cards up, put it back in the deck, and shuffle the whole deck up while your back is turned the whole time. You can't see anything, and yet you're still able to find that card. So I'll demonstrate what this effect might look like for a participant. So you hand them the deck and then you ask them to just cut some cards off like this and then look at them. And then after they've noted their card, you ask them to shuffle the deck up. So what I'll do is I'll just lift some cards up and show you the card while my back is turned. I promise I won't look at the card. Alright, so they do that. I won't look, I promise. So they look at this card. I'll show it to you. You can see it. And then we can just mix it back up in the deck like this. And then you ask them to put the packet they're holding in the middle of this deck somewhere, and then put it there, and then give the deck one good shuffle so nobody can see anything that's going on like this. Now you turn around for the first time, and you say, there's no way I can know what your card is. I mean, all you did was cut some cards off like this, and then looked at a card, and then shuffled the deck. There's no way I could know what that card is, but I will try my hardest to find it. Think about your card. Think about the color of your card. For some reason, I'm picking up that it's a black card. Is that correct? I'm just going to go for it. I might be totally wrong, but... so it's either a spade or a club, right? I might be totally wrong, but I'm having a strong feeling about this card. Was it a court card? Was it the King of Clubs? I think I nailed it, didn't I? Alright, so now I will bring you in for a closer look at how you can achieve this effect. Alright, so what makes this trick work are two things. The first thing is the use of a marked deck. Alright, so what is a marked deck? I'm sure you know what that is by now, but if you don't, it simply means that it's a deck, it's a trick deck of cards that has the name of the card printed on the back of the card. So if you look at the back of the card, you can always know what it is. In this case, this is the Four of Clubs. Boom, just like that, we have the Four of Clubs. That's so you can quickly and accurately read the back. So this particular deck I marked myself with the use of the PM marking system, which I'll leave a link down below. But any reader back marked deck of cards will work just as long as you can quickly and accurately get that marking and get that glimpse. Alright, so now the second thing that makes this trick happen is the use of a stacked deck. Now what I mean by that is any stack that you can know what the next card is, alright? So in this case, I'm using what's called Cy Stebbins. So if we look at this card, we know that the next card is the Four of Hearts. I don't have to look at the mark, I just know what it is because of the Cy Stebbins, and I'm sure you're familiar with that. But if you're not, I'll leave a link down below to maybe a video where you can learn how to do and get into Cy Stebbins. So the deck is marked, the deck is stacked, it's time to rock and roll. So to perform this, to start off with, you can casually give the deck, a false shuffle, just to sell the idea that, cards are being mixed around. Maybe you can give it a cut. Actually, the spectator can give it as many cuts as they want to, and the nature of the stack will not be disturbed since it is cyclical, okay? So it just runs in a cycle. The cutting does nothing to the stack. All right, so now what you do is you turn around, say, I'm going to turn around, and what I want you to do is you want to give these instructions to them very clearly, okay? So you say, look, what I want you to do is lift off some cards like this, and then look at your card that you cut to right here, and then mix those cards up in your hands. All right, so you turn around and you ask them to do just that. All right, so what we'll do here is we'll mimic that. We'll pretend that they're doing this. All right, so they'll cut to the Seven of Hearts, which we'll never know. All right, but thankfully, since this is a marked deck and this is a stack, this card will clue us in of what that card will be. So again, they can cut the deck as much as they want to, and we turn around and they cut to a card. Let's say they cut to this one right here. All right, so when you turn around, you ask them to shuffle these cards like this so they don't know where the card is at this point, okay? So as soon as they mix these around like this, you ask them to put their packet of cards in the middle of the cards on the table. So you can ask them to maybe lift some up and put this whole packet inside of the deck like this. So now look at this. The top card hasn't changed even though they put their packet back in the deck. And this is all being done when your back is still turned, alright? So now when you finally turn back around and you look down at the deck and you look at the marking on this card, that'll tell you what their card is. In this case, I'm looking at the Jack of Hearts, so I know the one that comes before it is the Eight of Clubs. Now you say, oh, wait, did you shuffle the deck? And then they say, no, I didn't shuffle. I'll turn away just so I can't see anything, just so I can't track anything. I'll turn away as you shuffle. So now all you need to do is quickly turn back around, ask that question, and quickly look at that mark so you know what their card is. And you can turn around while they shuffle again, like this. And then it doesn't matter how much they shuffle because you know what the card is already. Even though it seems like you couldn't. It seems impossible that you would possibly know what their card was after all that, but you do. And now you can finish in any way that you want. See, look, you can start to read their mind because you already know what the card is. You say, look, focus on your card, focus on the color. All right, ooh, this is a hard one. This is the hard one to read. For some reason, I think this is a tough one. Really focus on it. Really focus your attention on the color. Is that a black card? Yeah, black's is more difficult to read than red cards for some reason. I'm just going to go for it. And then you pick up the deck. And it's important here that you don't pick up the deck first and just take the card out. Because that's not a trick. What is the trick is first kind of knowing what their card is first and kind of reading their mind, right? Because let's be honest, there's no way you could know what their card is. And so by saying, focus on the color, blah, 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 and then slowly start to divine it, then that's a really good thing. So you do all that, you look at them in the eye and say all that before you even touch the deck. Say, I think it's a black card, right? Yeah, blacks are more difficult to read than reds. You know what? I'm just going to go for it. And now, for the first time, you touch the deck and pick it up. So I'm just going to go for it here. I could be wrong, but, obviously it's either a spade or a club, right? And maybe you can even throw in one of these. Ooh, it's either a spade or a club. Really focus on it. For some reason... Yeah, I think out of these two, I think it's the club. What was your card? The Eight of Clubs. Boom. You nail it every time. So it's the stressing the impossibility of how you couldn't possibly know their card, and then the build-up and the tension of you slowly starting to figure out what their card is, and then slowly starting to, piece by piece find their card. And there's just no backtracking with that. There's no explanation for how that could have possibly happened, especially with just a regular deck of bicycle cards.